Today's lesson is Lesson 4, Flower Farms. Have you ever wandered through a florist shop and wondered where the flowers came from? In the same way that many countries import fruits and vegetables that are not in season, flowers are often imported from other places as well. Even in the cold, frozen winter, many florist shops and even grocery stores sell fresh flowers to brighten your day. Most of the lessons in this unit are centered around farms that provide food for consumers. While some flower farms focus on the nutritional aspect of the flowers, like sunflower seeds or lavender for cooking, many farmers make their living on growing and selling beautiful blossoms for you to enjoy as decoration rather than food. In fact, flower farms are one of the most profitable types of farming there is. Let's dive in and see how they operate. Growing flowers. Different types of flowers require different climates to grow. A farmer that grows sunflowers must be located in a climate that has a long enough summer for the seeds to head and mature. Farms that grow tulips have to be located on an area that has both cool and warm season because they only bloom in the spring as the earth is warming up. A farm in California can grow many more types of flowers year-round than a farm in northern Canada or Alaska. While many flower farms cultivate their plants outside, others use greenhouses to control the temperatures and conditions that their plants grow in. Greenhouses are used in many temperate climates to make the growing season begin before spring truly arrives in the area, and they also extend the growing season of flowers into the fall through a combination of heaters, humidifiers, and specialized lighting. Floriculture is the name given to the type of horticulture that focuses on growing plants for decorative purposes. While you may immediately think of flowers when you think of plants as decoration, there are actually many other types of plants used in decoration besides flowers. Plants like shrubs and even many types of grasses are often grown for decorative purposes and used outside in a garden or added to cut bouquets. The next time you're in a store that sells flowers, see if you can identify some plants that are grown for decoration but are not flowers. You will probably be surprised at what you discover. Many of the flowers found at your local grocery store are cheaper than the ones at a florist shop, as they may have been imported from places around the world with fewer labor laws and cheaper labor. This can be a source of controversy in the flower industry. Some consumers want to know that the flowers they're purchasing were grown and harvested by workers who were paid sufficiently and fairly. These flowers have come a long distance and often don't last as long as fresh-cut local flowers. It can be difficult to know how and where flowers were grown unless you buy them from a local farmer's market or a flower farm. Unlike many other products in grocery stores, you are likely to find flowers that boost a fair trade destination. There are an increasing number of small flower farms that are cropping up around the world. These smaller farms are learning to harness the power of direct marketing to build unique business opportunities. Some of these small farms have turned to unique experiences, like farm tours or cutting your own bouquets, to make their farms stand out from the rest. Some flower farms even hold flower arranging classes that help their customers enjoy the flowers they choose to take home even more. Other flower farms have also published books about floriculture. Small flower farms that provide specific flowers for weddings or high-end events can gross up to $60,000 per acre. Machinery. Have you ever picked a bouquet of wildflowers? While it's easy to bend down and break off a few stems for a kitchen table display, growing and harvesting commercially grown flowers is a process that requires specialized machinery. The delicate nature of flowers means that they cannot be cut, dumped, and poured into machinery the same way grains are harvested. Depending on the type of flower, they've also grown and harvested quite differently. Tulips are a simple, graceful-looking flower that offer one of the earliest signs that spring has sprung. Tulips, like daffodils, irises, lilies, gladiolas, are grown from bulbs. A bulb contains all the parts and energy needed for the flower to grow. While you might associate spring as the season for planting seed, fall is actually when most bulbs are planted. On a large commercial flower farm, a tractor-like planting machine is guided by GPS to create perfectly straight rows of tilled soil. Bulbs are emptied from a giant bin and fall carefully spaced into the rows. These planting machines are capable of planting about 15 acres each day. What about 750,000 bulbs per acre? That's a lot of flowers. Smaller flower farms may instead dig large, shallow, rectangular garden beds and place dozens of tulip bulbs inside each one. Periannual flowers come back year after year, while annuals only last one season. Flowers grown from bulbs, such as tulips, daffodils, irises, lilies, and gladiolas, are examples of periannuals. Do you have any of these flowers growing nearby? The bulbs lay dormant all winter, usually under a layer of mulch to provide protection and insulation, before they pop their heads up through the soil in the early spring. On a large farm, irrigation machines travel along the rows of tulips, usually 2 to 8 times per growing season, depending on the weather. Smaller farms have sprinkler systems that water the flowers as needed. Tulips are harvested after they start to grow their color, but before they open. Many tulip farmers harvest the entire tulip plant with the bulb still attached so it can continue to provide energy to the tulip after its harvest. This allows that beautiful bloom to last just a little bit longer. Bulbs that are cut off right before the tulips are sent to stores. Cut flowers are stored in cooler temperatures, usually in large refrigerators, and are transported in refrigerated trucks and vans. The cooler the temperature allows the blooms to last longer. Storage and processing. Have you ever bought flowers home from the store and noticed that sometimes the flowers hasn't opened yet? Sometimes a flower will open even after they are cut, like roses or tulips. These flowers are often cut when they are not fully mature, so they will last longer before they start to droop. Some flowers must be fully mature when they are harvested, or they won't open at all. These flowers must be harvested at just the right time, or they will not last long enough to even get to the store. The processing of flowers is extremely time sensitive. If the flowers are left out in the hot sun, they will dry out. If they are kept in temperatures that are too warm, they will not make it to the store so they can be purchased and enjoyed on your kitchen table. When flowers are cut, they are often immersed in a special solution that helps kill any bacteria that might be present on the flowers. Once the flowers have been picked through, though, and any damaged flowers discarded, they are packaged and transported to huge coolers that keep the flowers just above freezing at about 34 degrees. Keeping flowers at a cold temperature puts them into a state of dormancy and stops them from opening. This ensures that they last as long as possible. Once the flowers are stored in a temperature-controlled environment, they must be kept in that environment as much as possible until they are delivered to the stores that sell them. Every vehicle that transports flowers commercially is equipped with air conditioning to make sure that the flowers remain at the proper temperature. The trucks, planes, and distribution facilities used to deliver flowers to the store all have cooler spaces that are specifically designed to keep the flowers in prime condition. Flowers that are produced for eating are processed and stored differently than cut flowers. Sunflowers are harvested in the late fall. Their seeds are removed from the head of the flower. The seeds are then roasted and seasoned before they being packaged and sent to the grocery store and convenience stores to be sold. Other culinary flowers like lavender are often dried before they are packaged and sent to stores, or even processed further to chop them up and place them in tea bags to be used for tea or medicinal purposes. To the table. While a beautiful bouquet looks lovely on a kitchen table, did you know that there are some flowers you could put on your table, not just to look at, but to eat? Lots of flowers are actually edible, but this does not mean you should reach into a floral centerpiece and start munching on the petals of any flower. Here are a few edible options. Honeysuckle blossoms make a pretty addition to salads. Just don't eat the berries. They are poisonous. You might see Johnny jump-ups or pansies on dessert-like cakes. They have a natural minty wintergreen taste. Signet marigolds are a tiny flower with a citrus flavor. Pink, purple, or red-flowered bee balm is from the mint family. Condola flowers are easy to grow. Their petals in shapes of red, orange, or yellow add a pop of color to a salad. You may have heard of a chamomile tea, but the small flowers that look like daisies are edible too and have a mild apple-like taste. Both the leaves and the flowers of nasturtiums can be eaten. They have a peppery taste. Many people enjoy arranging flowers, and if it is truly a passion of yours, you may find that you would love to work in a florist shop. These shops are dedicated to the sale of cut flowers. Many people pay a florist shop to arrange bouquets for special occasions, such as weddings, anniversaries, or other parties. The flowers in these shops are often more expensive than what you'll find at a farmer's market or a grocery store, but many people don't mind spending the extra money to get a bouquet that was specially designed by a professional. If you've ever been in a florist shop, you have probably noticed what looks like a big glass fridge in the store. Roses are perhaps the most important flower in the floriculture industry, and because they can be so expensive. They are often kept in a climate-controlled environment in a florist shop to make sure that they last as long as possible when they are purchased. No one wants an expensive bouquet of flower to die the day after they buy them. Their beauty and fragrance should be enjoyed for as long as possible. Your hands-on activity could be find flowers that can be planted in the season you are in and choose either seeds or bulbs to plant around your house or in a pot. This concludes lesson 4 for today. Thanks.